Hi, I'm Capt.Doug Stanford with Texas Fish Tips this week. Fishing.
Folks, there's still some great fish to be had at them jetties if it's not too rough. Don't get out there and sink your boat. If it's not too rough, get out there. If it's rough, don't go. It's not that hard to figure out. Anyways, get on the end of that south jetty. You don't have to get on the end of it. There's some good fish being caught off the bank right through here. You can park your truck right there and fish right out of your car. It's a great place. Shrimp has been catching lots of everything. It's been catching redfish, trout, and there's still an occasional sheep's head in and a few black drum mixed in there. There's been some Spanish mac, some jacks, just about everything else in there. But if you want to get in here, anywhere's down through is working. Get on in that south jetty in your boat. Get out away from that jetty a little bit where they can't cast to you. About 15 to 25 foot of water. On top of that jetty, there's still some good fish. You have to judge your current. If it's blowing real hard, I wouldn't try it. Or you throw a real anchor out and use a heavy weight like a 3 ounce. Or you wait until in between tides, and it's a good time to sit there with your trolling motor, and you can handle it, and you can catch all the fish you want. There's lots of fish to be caught. Same with that north jetty. Outgoing tide is usually best on the outside on that north, or the inside of that north jetty right down through. It works usually best. And I'm still using a lot of shrimp. If you catch you some mullet or buy you some mullet, that seems to be working pretty good too. But outside of those jetties on that north side, if that wind is blowing too hard, if you can make it around that corner, there's some good fish to be had. Or if you get on that jetty boat, you can sit out here and fish out here. About that third sandbar down there is working really well. Now, if you get over in the Lydia and Lighthouse Lakes right out this area, there's been some good fish. If you got a kayak, this water's up high. And a lot of boats that usually can't make it can make it now. If you're scared, get in the big slough right here and go right up here with your trolling motor. Then venture out. But there's some good fish right about here's where they've been holding. Nice reds. And when you find them, you're on them. If you're using shrimp, you're going to catch a lot of small reds, little rat reds. But there'll be some black drum mixed in there with them, so you're going to get a mixed bag. Cut mullet's been the ticket, but this whole area, anywhere's down there in Lighthouse Lakes, has been holding some nice redfish. Okay, Stedman's Reef. Right in front of it, there's a few trout right in through here, mainly right here at this corner. Free line shrimp has been working the best. You can use popping cork or shrimp along here. Also, you can get behind Stedman's Reef and drift with a popping cork and shrimp. Anywhere down through here, there is some redfish. There's a few trout mixed in there, but there's some redfish all down through here. Especially this little corner right here, and don't forget this little island right here in front of the ICW. It gets kind of crowded. I wouldn't want to fish on Saturday morning when everybody's flying through there at 90 miles an hour, but it is a good place to catch you a fish or two. Same way with Redfish Bay, there's some good reds out here, especially these little islands right out in here. They've been holding in here. And this little cut right here, I've told you before, there's some black drum in there. Bounce from these little island. In that cut, you'll find them. They like that shrimp. I've been doing my best is behind Dagger Island. On the backside, right down through here, any of these mangroves, that water's up. Those little fiddler crabs are hanging on to them. They're trying to get out of that water. They've been in that mud all this time. And them redfish are up in there sucking on them and eating them. And they like them. I've been using popping cork or shrimp has been my favorite. I've been using cut mullet as well. Sometimes I even put a shrimp on with my mullet. We'll catch drum either way. But any of these islands down through have been catching nice redfish down through there. But if you want to, just drift through here for nothing else with popping cork and shrimp or even some of your favorite plastics. There's a lot of reds. But a lot of small ones, but there is some good reds to be caught. All right, backside of Hog Island, all down through. If you're in a kayak, it's a good place to go. The wind ain't going to beat you up as bad. There's also some good fish. Any of these spoil islands right down through here, some of my favorite ones, these little islands right here off this little channel. And you can run a pretty deep boat right here and drift it up and cast towards those islands. Don't throw in the deeper water, you're going to get a hard head. Throw at that grass as close to those islands as you can. And all around it, there's been some good redfish. Same with these spoil islands through right here. You can go around and come back in the back side. There's been some good reds all down through. Cut mullet's my favorite. Shrimp, pop cork will work, or even shrimp on the bottom. If you can find that pothole, throw it in the grass, you're going to get a lot of perch in there. But there's some good fish right down through here. If you got some menhaden, it'll work as well. Any of these islands is working too. There's been redfish and some black drum if you use shrimp all the way down through here. Okay, folks, if you don't have a boat, good old Indian Point Pier. It's a good place to go. Get you some shrimp. Live shrimp is the best. Fish along the pilings you can chunk out at night. Catch you some nice trout in there. But there's been some nice trout all down this whole shoreline. In about 2 foot of water. Not way out in the middle. 2 foot of water. Popping cork and shrimp along this bank's been working pretty good. Now you got to get out here when it's not too windy. They do say windier the better, but man, you better have a good anchor to hold your butt out there because it's going to blow you right back on that bank. Now, there's some old broken piers, there's some good piers. Any of them are liable to work, okay? These fish will move. God give them some tails, and they will use those tails to move around. So if they're not biting, move. It's not that hard. Come on out here, get some of these old piers like that, and fish along the legs. If not, you may even fish out a little further. Try up on the bank in between the piers. They can be just setting just about anywheres, but there's several piers down through. There's even an old sunken sailboat right out here, and it's been holding a couple of redfish on it. So that's a good place to go get you some.
Thanks for watching. I'm Capt.Doug Stanford.